Now we start with Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy says he's ready to move forward on a US-backed framework to end the war with Russia and to address the most sensitive issues directly with the US President Donald Trump, along with Europe at the table. But deep gaps remain. Kyiv fears being pressured into accepting a deal that could force territorial concessions to Moscow. Zelenskyy has urged European leaders to help shape the long-term reassurance force for Ukraine, saying security decisions must include the countries they affect. Let's in fact listen into what Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has shared.
Розраховую на подальшу активну співпрацю з американською стороною та з президентом Трампом. Багато залежить від Америки, бо саме на американську силу в Росії зважають найбільше. Я дякую всім, хто з Україною. Я дякую всім, хто допомагає. І важливо зараз тримати внутрішню силу так, як ми всі хочемо, щоб наша сила в дипломатії спрацювала.
Meanwhile, President Trump has said that only a few disagreements are left. He's sending U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff to meet separately with President Putin in Moscow and Ukrainian officials, but he has backed away from Thursday's deadline. Let's in fact listen into what U.S. President Donald Trump has shared.
I don't have a deadline. You know what the deadline for me is? When it's over. And I think everybody's tired of fighting at this moment. They're losing too many people. We're having good, I don't know, he would like to come, but I think we should get a deal done first. We're having good talks. We started with Russia. We're having some talks with Russia. Ukraine is doing well. I think they're pretty happy about it. They'd like to see it end. And we won't know for a little while, but we're making progress.
Now for this discussion, we welcome Professor Georgi Tolaraya. He's a professor at Russia Academy of Science, who joins us live from Moscow. Thank you very much, Professor, for joining us again. Good to see you. Professor, now looking at this, what are the risks and benefits for Ukraine in engaging with US-backed peace framework if it fears being pressured into territorial concessions to Russia? Is this a legitimate fear, and do you think could it be pressured to give up territory?
As a former practicing diplomat, I would say that it's really very hard to make conclusion of what's going on in the course of negotiations. There are many positions which are interconnected, and in some places you make concessions to get your point in more important ones. So this is a very complicated process, and when outsiders look at it, most likely you won't understand much. But from what I see in general, from what the Europeans are trying to do, is that they want to turn the plan into something, Trump's plan into something that would be not acceptable to Russia. Because for Russia, generally speaking, the difference is between as in chess, between the win, the victory, and the draw. We cannot speak about Russia's defeat, of course, but what the Europeans are trying to do to make it a draw. That there's no victory for anybody. But that's unacceptable for Russia. There's no territorial concessions from Ukraine. This is a Russian territory declared by Russia, so it will be Russian anyway. And also some other points of this plan, I don't know how they look like in reality and what we'll be talking about, but something really unacceptable. For example, for me personally, I wouldn't even discuss the issue of Russian frozen assets. It's a robbery. We cannot recognize a robbery, We cannot recognize something which is taken by force and to legalize it as something that can be negotiated. They should be returned, full stop. This is my opinion. I don't know what the negotiators are thinking, but so far I cannot say how this whole negotiation process will wind up, how it will end. I'm not very optimistic, I'm not over pessimistic, but we have to wait and see. And in the meantime, Russia will continue its victorious advance on the front.
Right. And how do you think this affects the peace process, ongoing peace process between Russia, Ukraine, and U.S. while Ukraine keeps attacking Russia and also Russia also keeps attacking Ukraine. The escalating situation in the front line, do you think it affects the peace process?
Yeah, of course. Ukraine keeps on attacking. The day before yesterday, I think there were 250 drones shut down, which were shut down over Russia, including the one which attacked Moscow, about 10 of them. And last night there was also several dozen drones attacking, and Russia is advancing on the battlefield. This is very gruesome, and this is very sad. But that will keep on going on until a fair peace deal is achieved.
Right. With that, I would like to thank Professor Georgi Toleraya for sharing that. Please stay with us as we stay on this topic now. Russia has launched a major overnight drone attack on the southeastern Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia. Regional Governor Ivan Fedorov has said that the strike set off multiple fires, injured 12 people, and caused widespread damage across the city. Shops were destroyed, 7 apartment buildings were hit, and cars were left smashed in the streets. Rescue teams, firefighters, and police, as well as medical crews, are working at more than a dozen locations. Meanwhile, Russian-installed authorities say Ukrainian forces struck power infrastructure in areas held by Moscow, cutting electricity to about 40,000 customers. Now we move on to our next news. The coalition of the willing, comprising key European leaders